Well, good evening. It's Wednesday night, and I'm really glad that you're joining with me. As you see, I am not alone. I am with Samantha Dunn here, who is a church member at First Baptist Church. And the reason that she is joining with me this evening is because the last few weeks we talked about First Baptist Church through the years, and we talked about the history. And so now I want us just to walk down a little bit of memory lane and just talking to different church members about what it was like growing up at First Baptist. And so, Samantha, really appreciate you joining with me. And just, when did you start coming to First Baptist?
Well, thank you for having me. I came to First Baptist when I was 10 years old. And I joined because of David Stewart and his children's program. And one of the main things that we did, not only did we do Wednesday night children's program, which was wonderful, and we had meals together in Walker Hall, and I always looked forward to that because I got sweet tea, and my mom wouldn't necessarily give me sweet tea that much growing up, even though right now she'll pour it in my kids' mouths. It's a lot different being a grandma. I'm not trying to give her a hard time. It's a lot different being a grandma than it is being a parent. But not pouring it, but she'll let them have it if they wanted it. But I loved coming on Wednesday nights, and each year we would do a musical. Yeah. I didn't know much about a musical growing up. I took some piano lessons and did some baton, but I wasn't very musically inclined. But David Stewart made music fun. Wow. And I always enjoyed being a part of the choir. And we have GAs and RAs, and that was always fun too, but the musical was always the highlight. And I remember one year, and there's actually a picture of this in the choir room up on the wall as you're exiting. It's right on the wall here. I forgot the name of the musical, but it was called something secret. I think it was called Secret to My Success. Uh-huh. And at that point in time, when we did the musical, you had to try out for a role in the musical, and I really wanted to be a part of it, but I was kind of timid and shy and a real lanky child, so it was a bunch of knees and elbows, yeah. And I don't know if I really could have played a big part. But David cast Kyle Rasco as the lead, and he cast Carrie McCurdy as the second lead under Kyle. And I really wanted to try out, and I was looking at all the parts they had and stuff, and I just like, Mom, I don't think I can memorize all these lines. And so my mom suggested that I play the secretary, which wasn't even a part. Like, it was actually like a voice, I think it was a pre-recorded voiceover. Mm-hmm. But I came in, and I remember for my audition, I came in, and David Stewart asked me, I always call him Mr. Stewart, he gives me a hard time, so I'm calling him David this evening so that he won't give me a hard time. Asked me what part I want to be, and I said I'd like to be the secretary, and he said, well, that's interesting, sure, we'll let you try out for it, because it was a pre-recorded part. It was like, I still remember to say, Mr. blah blah blah, the girl from the agency is here, and I think that was my whole line, the whole play. But I loved it. I remember coming to that and being a part of the musical, and I got the part as the secretary under Kyle. Mm-hmm. And I just thought I was so cool. Uh-huh. And it just gave me a community to be a part of, and friends that I made that were wonderful, and just people that were great examples for me, who I learned more about the Lord, and it was just such a great place to be a part of, and I met so many great people who like always were my friends, mm-hmm. and continue to be my friends. And even there's a graduation picture of all of us who were involved in the children's program up until we became youth. Wow. My senior year of high school. And so it was just really neat always being a part of that, being a part of the musicals, and being a part of just the fellowship here at First Baptist.
Neat. And the neat thing is, not only did you grow up here in a lot of ways, mm-hmm. from a young age, but you're married now and have children, and y'all brought them to be here. Why do you continue to stay a part of First Baptist Church?
Well, when we had our first daughter, we have three now, Maddie, I knew that when she turned about 18 months, I had, at that point in time, had stopped working my job in corporate America. And I was staying at home with her, and we just found out we were about to have another baby. And I thought, Maddie needs some time with other people other than myself. Needs some time out of the house and stuff. And at that point in time, Cassie Rasco was the preschool director here. And I had messaged her and I was like, can I please get Maddie started? And she's like, well, she needs to be old enough. She's not quite old enough yet. And we finally, when she turned 18 months, we started her here at the preschool. And that kind of started our way of coming back to it, because when I was in college, it was difficult I would come for holidays and attend Easter services. But once I had kids, I knew that the First Baptist was the best place to bring my kids back, for them to have a solid foundation of God and just a love of learning. And I think by bringing them back, we started coming more and attending Sunday services, and became more accountable, I think, to our children. And then also we wanted to be a part of the church. And then eventually, I don't know how, somehow I got roped into being involved with the preschool and taking over the role as the assistant director under Atlanta. And we haven't turned back since. I started teaching Sunday school and did that for 3 years. And I just knew that I loved the community I grew up in, and I knew that it carried me throughout school and kept me accountable when I was a teenager. And I wanted the same thing for my kids, and I wanted them to have that community. And that's why we also put our kids, we just wanted them to have people that they loved and enjoyed and loved to be around, and then they could be around for all aspects of life, not only with the church, but also outside in the community. So I think that's what drew us back here, and luckily it's worked out really well. I love my job. I love being on staff here. Yeah. And I love having people who love me and love my children and love my family and stuff. And it's even so much more important because just recently we had the passing of my grandmother, and you did a wonderful job of just being there for our family and being there for, and just I couldn't imagine a better service for her. But just, it's in this life and how crazy life can be, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but it's so nice to have people to fall back on who have your back and who love you unconditionally and who would be there for you. So I'm so grateful for the congregation always being there for us and supporting us and loving us for who we are. And even though we make mistakes and things happen in life, I know that my church family has my back, and it's hard to say that about other things.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today, and
thanks for having me. I hope I haven't been too crazy, and as a community, I hope that y'all know that y'all can always come to us as a staff member. Send all your grandchildren, your children to us at the preschool. We would love on them and take care of them. Lana and I always say, we just want the preschool. Our goal is to establish an early love of learning and an early love of God. So send us preschool and kindergarten students, and we'll take great care of them and stuff. But thanks for having me.
Good, and they will take good care of them. It's fun to come over here from time to time and just see what's going on here in the preschool. So, Samantha, thank you so much for joining with us tonight on Wednesday night. And First Baptist Church, look forward to seeing you next week on Wednesday night with somebody else in the congregation as we talk about memories of First Baptist Church. So have a good evening, and we'll see you next week.